Hey guys and girls, how's it going? Hope you guys are having a great weekend. So I'm back today with another video today, and this one really, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum demo that came out about 2 days ago. I got to play it this evening, and I just wanted to give my general first impressions and thoughts on the demo. Now the demo itself is not particularly long. It's roughly about 20 to 30 minutes long, depending on how much you do and how much you explore within it. But it basically just gives you a taster of the main game. Now in the demo you play as the main character Noctis. You actually play him for the majority of it, you actually play him as a young boy in a kind of a dreamscape sort of landscape, and it sort of acts like a tutorial in that, you know, it's showing you the basic movement of the character, and that you can free roam this world, because, you know, Final Fantasy 15 is we have been told it is going to be a completely open world that you can explore, so the character can freely run, walk, jump, roll. The movement is quite nice and quite fluid. Now I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy games. I love them. My favorite definitely is Final Fantasy 7, but I did enjoy, you know, I enjoyed Final Fantasy 10, you know, 10-2 or Fantasy 12. I enjoyed Final Fantasy 13. I haven't played any of the sequels to that, but yeah, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I love RPGs, and obviously, you know, Japanese RPGs. So I'm very excited for Final Fantasy 15 coming out, and it has been a very long wait. This game has had a lot of issues with its development, and it's been a rocky road to release. You know, the game was announced originally in 2006, and it was originally then called, you know, Final Fantasy 13 Versus, and then obviously in 2013 it was announced that actually it had a name change. It was called Final Fantasy 15, and that it was going to be coming out on PlayStation 4. Now they have announced that the game will be released worldwide on the 30th of September, and it will be available on both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this game. I guess it depends on what else is coming out at that time, and if there are any other games that I, you know, really want to play. But I can't see me not buying this game, because it does look great, and even playing the demo, it did get me more interested in the main game, and I hope there will be other sort of demos and betas for us to try out the game a little bit more. But yeah, it looks really good. So it's a nice little introduction. It shows you some basic movement, combat and everything. Now one thing that really hit me about this game is just how visually stunning it looks, and it is a beautiful game. It looks stunning. The world looks really interesting. Noctis himself, as you know, in terms of his character design, his hair is fantastic, as most Final Fantasy games tend to be when it comes to the hairstyle. But even when you were running around the world and running around the level, you know, his hair was bobbing up and down in a very natural way. His clothes were great, were moving freely as well, and very naturally. So yeah, the look and style of the game is brilliant. The music is also, you know, really nice, epic, I would sort of say, for the musical score. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know, you play through sort of 3 kind of levels, and each level has its own sort of different style, different sort of musical score. And yeah, if this demo is anything to go by, then the musical score in the main game is going to be really nice, and we're kind of in for a treat. And for me, the music in a game is quite important, especially when it comes to the story and getting you immersed and evolved in that game. So yeah, I am very happy with music, and I think, you know, it's going to be a really nice score. Now obviously the main thing that I do want to talk about in this first impressions is the combat, because this really is one of the biggest changes to the Final Fantasy franchise, and it is the action-based combat that is being introduced in Final Fantasy 15, which is basically going to replace the more turn-based combat that we're all used to. And you know, the sort of the prompt, you know, instructions and you know, move sets that you set up in a line like you did in Final Fantasy 13. It's very, very, very different, the combat. You basically, it's freer. I'd say it's more like Kingdom Hearts. It's a lot more familiar to people that have played Kingdom Hearts, and you know that you can freely switch between weapons using the directional pad as well. Your buttons are mapped to particular moves, you know, so for attack or dodge or you know, magic or any you know, summon or anything like that. Now, we didn't see any summons in Final Fantasy 15, and again, not too clear whether there will be summons in the game. I know that the game is supposed to be a lot darker, grittier, more realistic compared to previous installments, but it's a Final Fantasy game. If there isn't a summons, I'll be incredibly surprised. But the combat, yeah, we got to actually play as an adult Noctis, basically, against what I would assume is kind of a behemoth sort of character, and yeah, the combat was really nice. I actually really enjoyed it. Though I will say that the block did feel a little bit overpowered for me. It felt a bit OP. You know, if you hit that square button at the right moment, then you know, even when the enemy was trying to hit you with his giant sword, your character Noctis was still sort of phased through it, sort of turn all blue and phase through it. So it seemed like you could kind of abuse that game mechanic there. But there were some moves that I've been very interested in terms of how they worked and how they felt, and that is obviously the ability to teleport, and I really enjoyed that move. I loved being able to warp out of danger. It does make combat a lot more strategic as well, in terms of, you know, trying to get behind your target, to get above him as well. You know, the enemy had this really cool sort of like wormhole move, basically like a black hole move where it would suck you in, and yeah, you had to use your warp very strategically there to get out of the way. So I really like that. Being able to switch between weapons as well is very easy, fluid, and it makes the combat, you know, very fluid and very enjoyable. And then obviously there were some pretty cool moments where you could actually block an attack and parry, and with sort of finishing moves. So I would say that the combat, you know, I think it's going to be jarring for some Final Fantasy fans that are used to the turn-based combat mechanic, and you know, some of them might not like it. You know, they might say, well, you know, it feels like a hack and slash, it doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game anymore. And I kind of get what you're saying, but I enjoyed it. You know, I actually enjoyed the combat, and I thought it was fun. My only concern is that it'll get repetitive or boring. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see if you get you know, other move sets, if you can do combos with your companions that you're going to have with you as well. That would be really enjoyable, really fun. So yeah, obviously the demo doesn't reveal too much about the game, but it gives you enough of a taster to get you interested for the main game, which is coming out in September. So if you haven't played the Final Fantasy Platinum demo, I do definitely recommend that you play it and have a go and see what you think. But anyway, yeah, so those are my general thoughts on the demo and what I thought of it. I am excited for Final Fantasy 15. So let me know what you guys think of the combat. Do you enjoy the more turn-based combat that we're used to in previous installments, or do you actually prefer the more Kingdom Hearts style combat that we've got in Final Fantasy 15? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button as always to show your support. Alright guys and girls, well, take care, and as always, happy gaming. Yeah.